Last Thursday, Creme released Alpha version 0.3, adding tons of new features like competitive, co-op, and more. 3 days later, the first video on this channel went live, and it promised you a video listing every single new Temtem. Well, I thought to myself, hey, why not just recap every Temtem, not just the new ones? I think you know where I'm going with this, right? If you don't, basically what I'm saying is I'll do a quick showcase of every Temtem as of Alpha 0.3. Obviously, if you don't want spoilers, this might not be the best video for you, so here's your chance to click off the video. Oh, so you're still here. Thanks for that. Now to make it clear, I'll be showing the number, name, type, and the Luma version if it's been discovered yet. I'll only also be showing the highest evolution version of that Temtem, for the sake of my sanity and the video not being 30 minutes long. Anyways, if you're only interested in seeing the new Temtem, I'll leave a timestamp on the screen now. We're going to start off this list with number 3, Zubian, who evolves from Uri. Right now, he's the only known digital type in the game, along with not being able to actually catch him because he's not obtainable. Next, we have Loli, which evolves from Swaley and is number 11. Loli is a nature and wind type and has a pretty cool Luma. Next is Tatsu, which is a neutral type. There's not a lot to say about the species, so for some of them I'll leave in like a little fun fact. In this case, this species is naturally shy. Next we have number 18, who is Grandpa. He is a wind type and evolves from Panaric. Number 20 is pretty cool. It's Amphitheater, who is an electric and nature type. It's also good to note that it evolves from Ampling, and it's not actually in the game yet, so I can't give you the Luma version. Number 24 is going to be Typhoo, who is a nature type and evolves from Hidori. The next one on this list is going to be Whiplump, which evolves from Fomu and is a wind and water type. Next we have his Skunch, who is a neutral and melee type. He evolves from Scale and his number is 28. And now finally we get to our first starter, which is Tental, who evolves from Hoochik. He evolves into Tental after 29 levels and is also a mental type. Next is Capier, who is number 38 and is a fire type. It also evolves from Bonapi. Next is Saku, who is number 45 and is a nature and wind type and evolves from Kaku. Now we're coming up on one of the OGs. We have Barnch, number 53, and is a mental and wind type. A cool little fun fact you might find interesting is Barnch is actually in the Kickstarter trailer. And now we're going to jump all the way to number 61 because there's a ton of new Temtem between this and the last one I did. And that is going to be Piranhant, which is a water type and evolves from Pookie. You can obtain this Temtem in Denise. Alright, now we're on to the meme lord himself, number 69, Psypot. He is a water and melee type Temtem with a pretty cool hat to go along with it. Alright, now we're on to our second starter of the video. This is going to be Sherald, which evolved from Crystal. As the name suggests, it is a crystal type Temtem and is number 73. And as of right now, all the 3 starters don't have a third evolution. This is the second one for every single one I'll be showcasing. Alright, now we got number 80, which is Pocus and is an evolution of Hocus. It's also a mental type Temtem, and I think has this really cool design with this floating orb on top of his head. And now we get on to another OG of the video. We have Sparzy, which is an electric type, number 82. Something interesting about Sparzy is, I don't know if this is just for the wiki, but here it shows he only has one trait, which is Last Rush. I don't know if that's just like a mistake on whoever made this wiki or whatever, but yeah. And now we're on to number 87, which is Mastion. He is a fire type Temtem and evolves from Magmus. His 2 traits are Bully and Pyromaniac. Now we're getting on to one of my personal favorites. We have Akuma, which is number 89, as a water type. It's the evolution of Umashi and has Hydrologist and Plethoric as its traits. Alright, now we probably get on to the most mysterious Temtem on this list, because the only thing we know about him is what he looks like and his number, which is 91. From the picture, I can assume that he's going to be electric, but it can still be something different. We'll have to see. Alright, so now we're on the last starter of the video. It's going to be Baboon. He's the melee type. He evolves from Smazzy and his number is 93. So this next one we don't know a lot about, but from the picture he looks pretty cool. He's not in the game yet. It's Cesaro. He's number 95 and his type is Earth. I can't wait to see how this guy fits into the game and kind of what role he plays. I think he's going to turn into like this rock dragon thing in future evolutions, but we'll have to see. Alright, now we got Cernif, number 104. It's a nature type and it evolves from Deandre. Its traits are Callosity and Settling. Next up we have one of the most popular, which is Kazuma. It's an electric and wind type. Its number is 114 and it evolves from Genki. And lastly for Kazuma, its traits are Receptive and Fast Charge. And now we're on to another species with only one known evolution so far, and that is Oshira, number 115, and is a water type. Next is a pretty interesting combination of types. We have water and electric, and that is Nessa. The species number is number 123 and has electric synthesize and hydrologist as its traits. Now we have Valor, number 124, and is mental type. This species actually isn't in the game yet, so I can't tell you their traits or their height or anything like that. Next is probably one of the strongest Temtem, at least in the past he has been. This is Calibos. It's number 124, and it's water and toxic type, and evolves from Kaluza. And now we're on to probably the most popular Temtem. It's going to be Pigapik. I mean, this guy has his own church named after him, so what can you say? He's number 144, and he's a wind type. His traits are friendship and fainted curse. And lastly, the highest number on this list is number 161, Anna here. This species is crystal and fire and has trauma and flawed crystal as their traits. Alright, so now we're going to get into the species that we're adding during 0.3. The first one we're going to be doing actually got his Luma like redesigned, so that's pretty cool. And that's Babawa, which is number 45 and has grass and water as his type. And he evolves from Bigu after 18 levels, so it takes 18 levels when you catch Bigu, and then he will evolve into Babawa. Alright, now we're on to probably my favorite Temtem, not only in this new patch, but the entire game, and that is Mix. The species number is 56, and it's a crystal and mental type. It evolves from Oklura, and its traits are Puppet Master and Rejuvenate. And now we got another, I'd say, unique type of Temtem here. We have Gould Er, which is a toxic type. It evolves from blues after 25 levels, and what this means is Gould Er will probably be the final evolution, so if they do add an evolution for this species, it will probably be the first generation, not the second or third, since there are 25 levels between blues and Gould Er. I just think this is one of the most unique Temtem in the game, of the way he just kind of just blobs around on the ground. It's pretty cool. Next is probably my least favorite out of the new Temtem, not because he's bad, but just because the other ones are so good. And that is Mudrid, number 22. It's an earth and crystal type, and evolves from Bonbon after 20 levels of catching it. And now we're on to another bird, which is Valor. It's a toxic and wind type, and it evolves from Zephyluf at around 22 levels. And he's number 110, but there's not much to say about this guy. And now we're on to number 106, Noxalot, and is a toxic type. It evolves from Toxalot after 30 levels. I really like this design and the rainbow strands that come off his head. It's really unique. I'm just wondering if they're going to do next evolution and what that would actually look like. Oh, and a cool little fun fact I just found. Blues and Toxalot are the only two Temtem that are only toxic type, and they're also the two new ones also. So before that, there was no only pure toxic type. And now we have Moshiach, which is number 85. It's a toxic and melee type, and it evolves from Mushi after 20 levels. Its design is kind of cool. It's kind of like, it reminds me of a boxer, but with a mushroom head. It's very unique. And now we're on to another one of my favorites. There are just so many good ones that came out in this update. And that is Nidracell, number 36. He's a nature and toxic type who evolves from Orpheal after 22 levels. I think it's pretty cool to have that Hydra-like species finally in the game, and it will definitely have its place. And now we're on to one of the actual community-voted Temtem, and that is Adoraboros. He's number 129, and it's a toxic and mental type. Right now he doesn't have any evolutions, but this is definitely a Temtem to look out for, because he will in the future. Now we get a kind of controversial one, which is Volcrane, number 140. He's a fire and earth type, and evolves from Vole after 28 levels. The reason people have mixed feelings about this is because of his head. It's a little bit tall, I guess you can say. I think if they just shortened it a bit, it would be a cooler looking Temtem. But yeah. And now we're back to number 9, one of the most popular Temtem, and that is Plateau Mas. The reason he's so popular is because a large YouTuber and supporter of the game, PokeNinja, actually bought the rights to the species after it being revealed as a fake mon in Sun and Moon. And then Crema actually bought it from PokeNinja. So yeah, I think this is probably one of the most interesting stories a species has had in this game so far. But yeah, Plateau Mas is number 9, and he's a water and toxic type who evolves from Platox. Now we're back to number 50, which is a neutral and crystal type, and that is Valish. Currently, he doesn't have any other evolution types, it's just him. Okay, now we're back to number 122, which is a crystal and water type, that's Shuin. A little fun fact, some of the soldiers on the 3rd island actually wear this guy's design on the head as a helmet, which is pretty cool. And right now it doesn't have any other evolutions with it, so it's just this type. And now we're on to one of the starters, which is Tavine. It's a wind type and crystal type, and it evolves from Tuai, which is the actual starter itself. Just to clarify, you can't actually pick him. Everyone gets him after choosing your first starter and losing to the rival. And now we're on to number 41, which is a crystal type, and that is Xenareth. It evolves from Azurok after 25 levels or by trading. This is actually the 3rd evolution version, so I don't expect we'll see any evolutions past this, unless they plan on doing 4th evolutions of some species, but I doubt it. And now we have number 59, which is Raycon. It's a fire type, and it's the evolution of Raze. He's kind of like this fire lion species, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what they would do for a 3rd evolution of this guy, because right now he looks pretty cool, so I would just leave it at that, or add a 1st evolution before with Rise. Alright, now finally we have number 54. It's a crystal and melee type. It's Gaialis. Its Luma's pretty cool. It's kind of like this bright green guy. Alright guys, well that's going to do it. We went through every single Temtem in the game or known so far. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be trying to make this channel basically only Temtem content, at least for the foreseeable future. If I do want to change it up, I'll tell you guys, but I'm just hyped about this game, and I know you guys are also, so yeah. Shout out to Red, by the way, for letting me use his fan art in the video. He's a great artist.